Hello! So, today on a very special episode of my Final Fantasy IV LP, I would like to introduce you to an alternate universe, where the events of the game happen slightly differently. In this version, Rydia killed Cecil and fled from Kaipo, and ended up cutting a swath of magical destruction through the watery pass. And then, in the confusion of the attack on Damcyan, she hijacked a hovercraft and fled to the north, where she intended to sneak on a boat in order to wreak her horrible revenge upon the nation of Baron. In the service of that goal, I have leveled her up a little bit. She now knows Blizzara. I screwed that up. She now knows Blizzara. She really shouldn't, but when you level her up to 30 levels or so beyond what she'd normally be at, these things tend to happen. Now, why did I do this? Well, A, because I have no life, but B, because I heard from the wiki that if you leveled up Rydia to level 26, then she will be able to learn bio, or virus in this translation, and she did learn it. And if you did that, you would be able to kill Mom Bomb before it explodes. However, this was a dirty lie, because I found out that no matter how much I tried to do it, I simply couldn't find a way to kill it in time before it blew up. So I decided to do, of course, the reasonable thing and level her up 12 more times in order to learn Blizzaga, or Ice 2 as they like to call it. And along the way, I have decided to make this a Rydia only run in which everybody else is dead. Cecil is not entirely... I didn't decide to make it a Rydia only run until a little bit in, just so I could get her on her feet and not get killed by every single encounter. But yeah, all these guys have been dead for a while, and as much as I'd like to say that I did find a way to kill Mom Bomb with just Rydia without it exploding, that's not in fact true. Because I actually do need Rosa for a slow spell. So unfortunately, this is a little bit different than what I'd planned, because of the fact that the virus didn't quite work. It's kind of gone from, here, let me show you this neat little trick I found on the internet, to, here, let me show you how I completely obliterate this pathetic creature with my completely overleveled character. But I decided I need something to show for all this work, so here we are. So I guess we will just have to pretend that Rydia kidnapped Rosa and forced her into battle to serve her nefarious goals of revenge, or something like that. I don't know. This fanfic version of the story is kind of deviating pretty far from my original, the original script, but that's okay. And because it deviates from the original script, we can just kind of ignore all of this. None of this is actually happening. Instead, I will tell you what's happening. So, Rydia climbs to Mount Hobbs, and she sees this karate dude fighting a bunch of monsters. And so, she's like watching him. She's waiting to see how the fight develops before she jumps in with her whirlwind of horrible magical destruction. And it looks like Karate Dude is doing pretty well. But then she sees that these two foes may be close to evenly matched, so she jumps in to destroy them both while they are weakened. Meanwhile, she forces her kidnapped white mage to cast slow on the monster so that it won't have a chance to react as she strikes the horrific killing blow upon it. Oops, wrong character. I think it stacks like twice from what I read. And once Rosa has served Rydia's nefarious purposes, she kills her horribly. Now then, let's try and time this carefully. This might take a couple tries. Actually, damn, I think I fucked it up. Hold on. Let me see if this still works. Because I think I needed... When I got it to work reliably, I used Drain to soften it. But we'll see how this goes. It's gonna be close, but it's always close. And I think one use of Virus should finish it off. If not, I might be able to get off another one. Yeah! And there you have it. Rydia is an unstoppable killing machine. None of this happens. Rydia is standing over the smoldering corpses of both sides. And none of this is happening. Obviously I need to make my own special edit of this game in which this actually happens. I don't know. You aren't here, Cecil. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show off, other than the fact that Rydia is, in fact, an unstoppable killing machine. I could just use fire, but I want to show off how horribly Virus can kill things. I think Virus is up there as one of my favorite spells in this game. It inflicts sap, it does a lot of good damage, and it doesn't cost as much as the early game, or not, the late game spells that are pretty costly, like, you know, Flare and stuff, or I guess Nuke. Man. Most of these creatures, as you saw in the main playthrough, resist a lot of different kinds of magic, but Virus just destroys them, which I guess is because they don't expect you to have it. Of course, if I continued this save file, as you have seen in the main playthrough, and yes, by the way, Rydia is taking 2-digit amounts of damage and has almost 1,000 hit points. But pretty soon afterwards, Rydia would be kicked out of the party and Cecil would be by himself at level 14. This might end up going badly for me, if that did in fact happen. I guess he was only at level 17 before, so it might not be that bad. But yes, this was my goofy little bonus video that probably wasn't nearly as entertaining to watch as it was to make, but hopefully you found it interesting, and my little fanfic addition to it made it at least somewhat watchable. Perhaps in later videos we will continue this strange alternate universe digression if I find a good reason to try. But in the meantime, I think what you will be seeing is a continuation of the main storyline. So I will see you then.